Hi everybody. So today I'm going to be looking at goggles. A lot of issues deciding exactly what kind of goggles to use. I asked 10 different people and I had 10 different answers, which didn't help me much. So I decided to get a few goggles, and in Abu Dhabi, during the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge, I will be trying all of them out to see which one is the best fit for me for Dakar. The issue with goggles and lenses in sand is that, or especially in dunes, is in dunes you have to be able to see the drops, so you have to be able to see the contrasts. And when the sun is high up at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, it's almost impossible to see drops or like any contrast in the dunes. So it's extremely important to try and find goggles that give you as much contrast as possible. And that's pretty much what we're gonna try and figure out, is which are the best goggles to use in the dunes for me specifically. Here we have the goggles I decided to go with. This was suggested by a friend of mine. This is the Smith Fuel motocross goggle. It comes with, you have to buy it separately, but it comes with photochromatic lenses, or they call it chroma pop. He's also a skier, which made me decide that he's going to give me really good advice, because in white snow you sit with the same issue as contrast. This one also comes in at the cheapest at $30. The lens is $50 extra, but you do get a normal lens and a clear lens with the Smith Fuel goggle. Next up is a Skylar House recommendation. That is the Scott light sensitive goggles. So the good thing about this goggle would be that it will change from clear to dark as the light conditions change, and obviously that would eliminate the need for changing lenses in a liaison or when it gets dark. And then pretty much most people suggested these ones. These ones are the 100% Armiga goggles, with the hyper lenses specifically. So you'll see I have two. One is a clear lens, because as I explained, you need a clear lens, and then I have the hyper lens for the dunes. So price wise, we're talking about $30, $65, between $90 and $120. So it will be very, very interesting to see. I sometimes also use Oakley's, but for Abu Dhabi I'm going to be trying out all of these to see which is my favorite when it comes to giving contrast in the dunes. So one of the cons, I would say, of the Smith for me definitely is that it is extremely hard to put the lens in. And as I mentioned, it's only $30, but the suggestion was that I get a chroma pop lens. Very important that you get the actual chroma pop lens, because that is what gives you the definition. So the cool thing is this came with a normal dark lens. It came with a clear lens, so that was free with the $30, and then an extra $50 for the chroma pop lens. But the con of this is that it is really hard to get that lens on there, especially if you're going to be on a stage. It's not easy. It's very old school. One of the pros of the Scott would be that we would do no lens changes at all, and that the lens would change itself. So I'm super excited about that. One drawback to mention about the Scott is that all the others came with carrying bag, so bag to put your goggle in, and obviously also to wipe it. So the Smith came with one, and the 100% each came with a bag. The Scott did not, so that's the only drawback from the Scott, is it did not come with a bag to carry your goggle in. And then coming to the 100%, definitely the lens change is easy. You just undo those tabs and you change the lens. You would have to ride with a clear lens if you're going to be riding with the hyper, or you'll have to ride with the hyper if you're riding with the clear. I will say what I personally didn't like is that this brand new lens, when I received it, was smudged inside. The manufacturer says that's pretty normal. I read about it because it's some protective coating and you have to wipe it off. I just kind of feel like if I have a new lens, I don't want to be like wiping off coatings, but that's just me. And then this little peg or steg, whatever you call it there, for the tear offs, which I'm not planning to use. We're not allowed to use them in really, but that broke off literally, you know, as I was fitting the lens. So wasn't too impressed with that. So I guess what we're gonna have to see is if the 100% are actually worth the extra money, ranging them from most expensive but a little bit disappointed in the overall kind of experience, to really impressed with the Smith, really good price, super excited to see, sorry, with the Scott, very excited to see if it's actually going to do the job of changing colors. Very, very exciting opportunity there to notice that and to see it. And then the Chroma Pop, I'm super excited just because it was a really highly recommended lens by Nathan. So I am looking forward to giving you guys my feedback once I am back and once I have a good idea of which ones I actually prefer.